Hi, everybody, and welcome to Coffee and Crafting. My name is Elizabeth, and I'm with Country Peony, and I'm so excited to have you here today. Today, we're going to be making we're going to be using one of my favorite tools, and that is Clover's pen style needle felting tool. And we're going to be making these amazing and really charming heart pins with polka dots on them. So I'm so excited to bring this craft to you today. It's going to be a really fun one, a really, really simple one. And so I have been playing with needle felting for about 5 years now, and I love it so much. I was honestly very intimidated by the process, and so I never really tried it, but I was always so inspired by the vintage inspired feel that is needle felting. And so once I found Clover's pen style needle felting tool and some of their other needle felting tools, I mean, it was a game changer. And so I continue to needle felt, and I even have a needle felting 101 course. It's a beginner friendly course. If you are at all interested in needle felting, I would love for you to join me in the course. And I'm also offering a 50% off coupon if you use the code NEEDLEFELT at checkout. All the details are in the description below, and I would love for you to join me in the course. And let me know if you have any questions about needle felting. I love answering all of your questions. So before we get started, I wanted to introduce myself. My name's Elizabeth, and I'm with Country Peony. And I'm here in Texas, in rural Texas, in LaGrange, in between Austin, Houston, San Antonio, and I have got a warm cup of coffee because I love to craft with coffee in the afternoons, hence the name Coffee and Crafting. So I'm so excited that you've joined me today. Again, we are making these adorable felted hearts with these really cute felt ball polka dots, and I'm using mine as a heart pin. But the beauty with this is I was making these would be the sweetest Valentine's Day gifts, the Valentine's Day that you put on top of a gift topper. You can put this on a piece of clothing. You could put this as a bookmark. I mean, there's so many things that you can do with these. And you can customize them. You don't have to put the little balls on there. But today, I just want to show you how simple it is to actually make these, because it is so simple. Once I show you, you're going to want to make all of them. Okay. So let's get started. If you are joining me, I'd love to know where you're coming from and what the weather is like for you. So the weather has been gorgeous this last week, and then today it's really cold and chilly, which is not normal, but it's okay because we're going to be crafting and having a great time. So, okay, to get started, the tools that you're going to need, and I've listed all the tools below in the description if you want to check them out. And they are there. You can purchase them from Amazon or your local craft store. And so to get started, the tools that you're going to need are, you're going to need some wool roving. And I prefer to use 100% wool when I am needle felting, but it's really up to you. Someone said that they were allergic to wool, so synthetic will work just fine. But I mentioned in my course that wool, to me, is the best way to go because it really creates a beautiful end product. And so today, for today's class, I thought it'd be fun to make a really bright green heart, just so you can kind of see that you don't have to stick with your standard pinks and reds, even though if you've been here for a while, you know that I love pink and red. But for today's project, we're going to use this really fun lime green or like chartreuse, because I hear that chartreuse is having a real moment this year. So we're going to use that. And then you need a cookie cutter. So a heart cookie cutter for today's project. And this is really the secret ingredient. This size, I'd say that the width of this is probably about 4 inches. But again, you can use whatever. You can even do a really small one like this. I've linked a pack of 3 below if you want to check out and just kind of play with what works for you. Again, I like the size of this as a pin, but you could even do a really cute hairpin for this, and you can make a smaller size one. You could, it's really just up to you and what you're wanting for this project. Okay, so we've talked about the wool roving, we've talked about our heart cookie cutter, and now the tool that we're going to use for the needle felting part is actually Clover's pen style needle felting tool. And if I would recommend you purchase one tool, it would be this one. It comes with 3 different needles in it, and then which allows you to needle felt faster instead of just using one. And it also comes with, and then I also recommend their large needle felting mat. Now I've seen some wool mats. The Wool Buddy has a cute mat. It's really up to you and what you have access to. I really like this one because it's easy to clean and it's a lot of fun. And it sounds really cool when you're needle felting, which I'm all about. The whole experience, and that's one thing about needle felting. It is so therapeutic. It's so beautiful. Everything about it. The materials you're working with, the sound that you hear, and just the ability that you need to slow down and really focus on your craft is really good for me. So, okay, so you're going to need the wool roving. You're going to need a cookie cutter in a heart shape. And then you're going to need a needle felting tool. This is Clover's pen style needle felting tool, and this is a needle felting mat. And then lastly, because I wanted to add some extra whimsy, I got these adorable, wool balls. They are miniature. I think they're 1/2 centimeter. They're tiny, but they are so cute. And I think they really make this pin. So that's up to you. And then also I prefer to use Beacon's Fabri-Tac to add the balls to it, and also to add the backing, your pin backing as well. Okay, so if you missed any of those, don't worry. Again, I've linked them below if you want to check out in the description. And also in the description, I also have a blog post where I created this adorable felted heart wreath that's behind me. So if you feel inspired to make a heart wreath or just these hearts to get started, I think that this is going to be a really fun project. I'm so excited for you to get started. Okay, so let's get started. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take our wool and we're going to place our cookie cutter onto our felting mat. And when you tear your wool, I do not recommend cutting it because then you're going to get really sharp lines. So when you want to tear your wool, you just pull it apart like that. And then you're going to break up these fibers. This kind of loosens it. It makes it easier to work with. And look how beautiful. I love it. And I love all the different colors that they come in. Okay, and then you're going to slowly start to add your wool into your cookie cutter. Okay? And so you're going to keep pulling it apart and then adding into it. And then I would stop here because I always recommend that you start small and you work your way up, because it's really hard to take away. If you add too much wool at the beginning, it's really hard to take away. So this is a good starting point. And we're going to now get our pen style tool ready. We're going to remove the top. We're going to twist off the top. And then we're going to get our safety guard, which is really helpful. This helps protect your fingers. And click it on, and that's what it looks like, okay? And so I don't use any finger guards, but you certainly can, especially if this is the first time you're working with needle felting. It's really up to you and what you feel comfortable with. So from here, we're going to start the needle felting process, which is so fun. So we're just gonna go up and down in a stabbing motion. And we're just going to go up and down as we pierce those wool fibers together. And you can hear that. That's the fibers really coming together to create that felt. It's really cool. And when I'm working with cookie cutters, I like to go carefully around the cookie cutter, around the edge first, and then I would like to work in the middle. And the reason behind this is I get a really defined shape from the cookie cutter. And it just makes it really simple. The only thing is to watch your fingers and also making sure that you don't press too hard onto the cookie cutter with your needles because they will break. So I'm just working around that cookie cutter right now. And this process can be a little slow, but that's okay. And that's one reason I love needle felting so much, is because by nature, I'm a busy person. I tend to just want to do everything all at once. And needle felting has really encouraged me to slow down and just create. And so that's why I'm really passionate about it, because I think we could all use a little bit slower pace I know I certainly can. Okay, so I'm just continuing to felt the wool fibers together. And you can see there might be some gaps in your heart. You can add a little bit more wool there, like I'm going to do. Again, it's always better to start with less and work your way up. So we're just going to kind of press that in there, and then we're going to, again, stab up and down and work away around the heart cookie cutter. And then when you feel comfortable with it, you can kind of speed up your process a little bit. But ultimately, it is so cool to see these wool fibers piercing together to create this beautiful felt. And really, the possibilities are endless. I need to set some time aside in my calendar and just to create, just to have fun and see where some of these felted projects go, because it's so much fun and I'm always inspired by it. I was going to show y'all how just to make the felted hearts, and then I got the inspiration to add these adorable balls on top, and I thought, okay, well, you know, that's going to be so cute. Okay, so now you can see I'm going a little bit faster. I'm going in the middle now. You see if I can show you the process. So we're just going to stab up and down, and you can see very simple. And again, I've made that crisp line because I went around the edges first, and now I'm working my way in the middle. And you're going to stab both sides a couple of times, so you can see that the wool has kind of started to compress together to make that felt. And so I'm going to do a little bit more, and then I'm going to turn it over and do the exact same thing on the other side. Okay. As I turn it over, it's going to stick a little bit because those wool fibers were really in there. And so you can see the side that I felted, and then this is the side that has not been touched yet. It needs a little work, okay? So you're going to do the same thing. You're just going to work your way around the edge, like so, and you're just going to stab up and down and continue that process. And I like to go around a couple of times. You'll start to know what feels right for you. And if you like a more compact heart or whatever project you're working on, I only do mine a couple of times, but you can do more, and you could even add more wool than I did here. This is a pretty thin heart. I wanted it thin so that it would lay nice and flat for a pin, but if you want something a little bit thicker, you can add more wool. It's really up to you and whatever project you're working on, and truly whatever your heart desires. And so last May, I actually came out with a needle felting course. It had been something I'd wanted to do ever since I started because I loved it so much. And I truly started it because I wanted to inspire you just to create. That's my biggest question, is a lot of people say, I'm not creative, I don't know where to start. And that's one reason I wanted to make this needle felting course, because once you get started and you start to make things, you see how simple it is, and you can just add on from there. And I did mention earlier that if you're watching this broadcast or later on my YouTube channel, you can get 50% off my needle felting course if you use the code NEEDLEFELT, and the link is in the description below if you want to check it out. Okay, so this is going over it again on the other side, and so now we're going to peel it off, and you see it's got the nice fuzzies, so we're going to do it one more time on this side. And it's up to you. You don't even have to do hearts, but I'm just showing you how fun it is to use a cookie cutter. It's kind of a shortcut. Thank you, Carlene. Have you ever tried needle felting? It's so much fun. And this is really cool too, because you can add this technique into your other crafting projects. So people put this on their knitted pieces, and they put this on some of their sewing projects. Or you can even add this to any clothes that you're making. It's really up to you. Even paper goods, just mixed media is so, so much fun. And wool comes in so many vibrant colors, and it makes for a really fun project. Okay, I think I'm about done. You could continue to go back and forth a couple of times, but for today's project, And for today's project, I think we'll just stop here. But again, use your best judgment. If you think the fibers could be a little bit more condensed, that'd be great. And you said you have not tried it. You've never seen this technique before. Well, I hope you enjoy the technique, and I hope you try it because it's really so much fun. The only thing I recommend is to protect your fingers by not piercing them. And I know that sounds silly, but I had mentioned earlier that I like to stay busy, and I have pricked my fingers at least 3 times, and it hurts. And so that's just because I wasn't paying attention. So that's my only thing is when you're needle felting. Okay, look how cool is that? Oh my goodness, look at that. So we just got a heart, so simple. And so from here you can kind of clean it up. I like to take my extra needles, and these are needles that are specifically for needle felting. And in my course, I talk about needles. I have a whole section in there about them and the different types of needles and the ones that I use. But let me show you. This one has a triangular shape at the top. It's kind of hard to see. And then it's got a loop at the bottom, and that's how you can connect it to your tool. But you've got to be very careful when you're working with these on their own. But all I'm going to do is I'm going to indent this heart a little bit more so you can see. Just being very careful not to prick my fingers. And then there's some areas that are sticking out a bit too much that I don't really like. So I'm going to kind of play with those a little bit. And this one probably could have been felted back and forth a couple more times, but it's up to you. Because you can see there's a lot of loose fibers here, but I think it's adorable. Okay, so now we're going to continue to embellish this adorable heart. And whenever I'm done, I take off my guard and I add this top again, and then I close it just because my children come in here all the time to my studio. I've got a now 10-year-old. It's my oldest son's birthday today. He just turned 10. And then my daughter is 8, and then my youngest is 5. And so they come in all the time, and I've got to be very careful with these needles. Okay, so here is the heart that we just felted. It's so simple. And how cute would this be as a patch, like on a shirt, or even as an elbow patch? I think that'd be really, really cute. Okay, so now we're going to use Beacon's Fabri-Tac. This is my favorite glue when working with felted projects or any time of fabric projects. Honestly, really any crafting projects. If you're going to invest in one glue, I would recommend this one. I just make sure that whenever I'm working with it, especially with smaller projects, I do keep a napkin around because sometimes the nozzle can get a little dirty, and that's okay. You just clean it off. Okay. And so what we're going to do is we are going to use these adorable felt balls that I purchased on Amazon. Again, I have them linked below. If you want to get your own, they're so cute. So all we're going to do is we're just going to randomly attach these balls onto the heart. As you can see from these, I just kind of added them wherever I wanted. You could have a pattern if you like to have things a little bit more symmetrical, or you could just kind of wing it like I'm going to do. So all I'm doing is I'm adding to the good side, the one that we did twice, I'm going to add a little bit of glue, just a little bit, because a little bit goes a long way. And then I'm just going to add the felt ball directly to it. And then I'm just going to continue to add a little bit of glue and then the felt ball. And have fun with the colors. That's why I love these from Amazon, because they come in so many different colors. And they really just add so much extra charm to your project. And this could be really fun. You could do something like this for Valentine's Day, for a gift, or you could change up the colors and do something really cute for spring. And you could get a cookie cutter like the size of an Easter egg, and you can make a really cute Easter egg with felt balls on it. I think that could be really fun and really cute and very, very simple. Okay. And again, all of the details are linked below. My needle felting course, the blog post that showcases how to make this heart wreath, and all of the tools that you'll need for this particular project as well. I'm just trying to find colors that I have not used yet because I want to kind of mix it up and have fun with it. And I think that will do it with this last one. I'm going to add one more here. Okay. And then let me show you the heart that we made in less than 15 minutes. Look how cute that is. They kind of almost remind me of those animal cracker cookies, the ones that are frosted and have those fun like dots on them. Okay, so the next step is, because we're going to turn this into a pin like I'm wearing here, we're going to take these, I always take off the backing of some of these. This one I got, it had this foam backing on it, and I just prefer to use Beacon's Fabri-Tac on the back because I know it's going to hold. So I just removed that adhesive. So all we're going to do is we're going to attach this pin backing. And when I do this, you can see there's two sides. There's a side when you open it up that swings open at the top. I attach this to the back so that when you add it on, it kind of sits there because that's just how I prefer to do it. So when I add it, I'm going to add this part to the top of the back. And so, excuse me, I'm going to add the glue to the back of this and then add it directly onto my felted heart. And that is all. It is so, so simple. You can make a whole bunch of these for Valentine's Day for your friends, or your children or your grandchildren. It's really up to you. But I think it's so, so cute. I love how it turned out. I love using unexpected colors like this light pink and this hunter green. I think that's really pretty. And then obviously you have the red like I'm wearing now. But I think this is such a fun project. Again, if you're new to needle felting, this is a really fun one to begin with because it gets you empowered and inspired to make more. Needle felting is really so much fun. And again, I've got a needle felting 101 course for beginners. And if you're watching this, you can use my code NEEDLEFELT at checkout for 50% off. All the details are in the description below. And I would love for you to join me in my needle felting course. It is so much fun. If you have any questions about this project or any of my projects, I would love for you to reach out and you can send me a message. I love hearing from you. And honestly, I love seeing your own creations that were inspired by the ones that I'm making here. So I hope you have a beautiful rest of your Monday. And thank you so much for watching. I will see you next Monday here at noon Central Standard Time on Facebook for another episode of Coffee and Crafting. Until next time, guys, I hope you have a beautiful week and I'll talk to you soon. Thank you.